Jesse.
Oh, and a call. And Garagnani in a terrific spot here.
109, 109-es fél 100 dáma.
All right, boys, make a lot of noise and we're going to get lucky.
All in called, and the other guy has ace 9 to ace. No, it's not me. I can't believe he just called that guy. Like 20 something big.
21 vakot basszok be. BB vagyok.
Almost 8.8 million in chips in the middle as we've got our first all-in and call in the early going here at this 5K 6-max final table. Pedro dominating. Oh my goodness. King, queen, 10, 2 diamonds. Nut flush draw for Szesci. Some chops available. Garagnani with the queens and a modest lead. The turn is blank and dry.
This is what we live for right here.
The Rails trying to will their camps into a win here at the 8 of clubs. Gives it to Brazil.
And if you're going to hold with ace queen versus ace 9, there's no better way to do it. You're getting that really rough sweat and just fading all of it. That'll get your blood pumping. Sometimes I just say things to look at the reaction on your face. It makes me happy to watch the perplexed.
To move in with the King 9 suited, and you can kind of see he's not in love with Tyler's willingness to jam over the top of him. No drama behind as all hands hit the muck and live cards. Says Vitor. Clean king and a clean 9.
I mean, you can't ask for much more than that when you go all in with the King 9 suited and get called, right? Just live cards. Just give me a little hope. Look at this.
Three to 2 favorite is Cornell.
It's one of my favorite hands, so.
Remember, his involvement in this pot comes courtesy of his ability to find a fold with trip jacks. As you see, Yuri a little busy right now in the office, but still trying to keep an eye on his brother's fate. Oof. One that appears
Not the worst, though.
Still hunting kings and 9s as both players hit a pair in a 4.6 million chip pot. Turn does not render the assistance the Brazilians are calling for on that rail.
The chant has remained the same.
Can they find a king or 9? No, it's aces up for Cornell as we've got our first elimination here in the 5K 6-max. Hell hath no fury like a woman scorned, I believe a famous saying.
I do think that I do think that is something people say, wow.
Do you think that this is unexpected
Oh.
as Rich suddenly on the heels of losing with the King Jack comes jamming out of the small blind with Jack 9 off suit, and Garagnani snap calls. Good news, obviously, Rich has him covered.
Nem, a csajnak a Mubi 9
Bad
BVB-ben.
news. She's pretty far behind.
That's somewhat standard by Angelina. Shoving from the small blind against a shorter stack. Obviously, Garagnani's not folding any aces really, but ace 8 is far above the necessary requirements. It's actually a really nice hand to look down at because he's dominating so many aces. And ace 8 starts to get in the zone where it plays on a lot of boards.
To the flop we go, and it's ace high.
Nem lehet.
Angelina needs needs help here. She'll be drawing dead. A spade would be of service. And there it is.
That is a card.
No.
Is there another spade available to Angelina Rich to leave her four-handed? Garagnani hopes not. It's okay.
Yeah, absolutely. He's in there. But if he decides that every hand he's going with, he's just putting it in, that's fair too, because he doesn't have that much more than her stack.
Yeah, 16 bigs to 7 bigs roughly to start the hand for the two of them. And Garagnani's flat is going to look reasonably strong. I don't think anybody's going to be tempted to try to squeeze him out.
No. In fact, I would even argue that it looks incredibly strong if he just calls there. There are plenty of people who just have aces and kings when they do that.
So Rich recognizing that things are dire for her as calls for a 4 emanate from her rail and are left unanswered on a Jack-8 deuce board. The two kings. Better than 9-1 with 2 to come.
Shout out to the man with the mullet on Angelina's rail, Stephen Chu.
2 across hard was certainly a threatening card to roll off.
Feels so close.
2 outs one time for Angelina Rich. Is a 4 in there? It isn't. And a lack of a heart in her hand despite 4 on the board will leave her among the dearly departed here at this final table. A big, bright, beautiful smile on her face, though, is certainly she's got nothing to be ashamed of. How about an argument for the case ace? Finding its way to this flop as Garagnani was not quite all in, but the rest of it comes in. And
this is actually a pretty good flop for Garagnani because he finds a lot of chops here. Sorry to interrupt you.
No, it's okay.
It's probably an above average flop for him. I would say the 3 is obviously not what he wants to see, but 2 cards above a 6 showing up is probably the most likely thing to happen.
Over half the time, this will be a split pot, and 12% of the time, Garagnani will be a winner. Courtesy of a deuce, a 4 or 5 would work as well.
That is just brutal.
Yeah.
Well, now he knows he's, he's either... Yeah.
He needs a deuce or a 4 alone because that 5 takes the chops off the board, and the 7 leaves a 6 playing. Aces with an 8-7-6.
Yeah.
I win.
6 play. Yeah.
Even top-tier pros like these two have to pause and take a moment to recognize what has just happened, as so improbable was the scoop.
Okay.
Garagnani, just a demoralizing hour of play there. Meanwhile, ace-ace for Pooh.
I don't think Tyler's going to be able to get away from this, especially with how aggressive Pooh has played this final table. It's not going to feel great because he 3-bet in a spot where he's not leaving himself that much fold equity, but...
All in.
Oh my goodness.
Jam, snap, as Cornell. Predictably, as you mentioned there, Jesse, not going to get away from it, but also not going to flat for the extra 1.8. Runs into it, and you can see the demoralized look on his face as he is just 7% with 19.6 plus in the middle to
Can't
escape
even have kings? No?
elimination.
Just running hard. Just running hard.
A fair request by Tyler. You can't just have kings.
And a humble response as well, as
Yeah.
Pooh knows that, listen, I'm not doing anything special out here in some of these pots. I'm just getting hit with it.
3, 4, 5.
Absolutely. But you know what they say, Ollie?
I would
Rather
love
be
to
lucky
chop.
than good.
When it rains, it pours.
Okay. I don't know how to disconnect your mic, but I'm going to do it. 10-10-4 as Cornell is on the brink of being disconnected from this final table. Wearing a grin, but now drawing dead as a 5 on the turn.
You play great.
Leaves him finishing in 3rd place.
All right, now we got a hand.
Ace Queen. Feels like we got 2 trains headed toward one another on the same track.
Well, that'll about
49 big blinds effective. That's a lot of chips, Jesse, but
it's true. It's true.
Let's see if we have a lit fuse on our hand. There's the incendiary 3-bet. And he jams, snap call forthcoming, and we're going to play for the tournament as Pooh verifies that he heard what he thought he heard, and he's going to see exactly what he wanted to see. A dominated ace.
AK 他一圈。
There we go. I like that. Pooh's been so stoic this whole heads-up match. That little burst of emotion was nice.
He can taste it. Absolutely crushing. Heading to this flop for the tournament. And a king in the window, but followed by a jack.
Okay. Okay.
Szesci, 10 hunting to stay alive. The turn gives him a queen, and that delivers disappointment.
That's a great card for Pooh.
Defending against the 10, as that would render these 2 players chopping the pot. And now we just need to fade a queen and a queen alone. And he's done it!
Wow. Wow.
Weiran Pooh, your 5K 6-max champion.
Well, Weiran, congratulations. It is my honor to present to you your very first World Series of Poker bracelet. You can hold it up to that camera. Congratulations, Weiran Pooh, winner of the 5K 6-max. Ali?
第5条 Give me 5! Yeah!
Thanks, Natalie. You can see just how proud and just how happy Weiran Pooh is picking up his first ever World Series of Poker bracelet. Well, we certainly hope that you enjoyed today's coverage of a very entertaining 5K No Limit Hold'em 6-max final table from here at the Horseshoe Las Vegas. But that's all we've got for tonight. As on behalf of Natalie Bodie and my partner in the booth, Jesse Sylvia, this is Ali Najat saying thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Good night.